Hey everyone, what's up? This is Kael,
And I'm Gail,
and welcome to the third episode of Kael.gaelletrytopodcast.
where we talk about navigating life after 25, the successes, the struggles, and the shit show.
We are just two uninteresting people trying to make things interesting.
Welcome to the third episode, everyone.
Welcome everyone, what's up, what's up? How are you doing, Gail?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm so exhausted because I just finished a game with my workmates. We played badminton and it's been, 8 years since I played in an actual court, but it was pretty fun and, recording this podcast makes me, excited and I just want to, talk to our guest for today.
That's right. We do have a guest for today, and we'll be talking about our passions. We'll be discussing passion versus practicality as well. And we actually posted about it on our social media platforms earlier.
And we got a lot of answers from our Instagram story. What did you get, Gail?
We actually got a couple of answers who were interested about the debate, and some actually were passionate about their answer, which was, sa panahon ngayon, it's important to be practical, which I understand.
Exactly. Pero sometimes I really believe that we really need to, follow our passion because even if we follow practicality kung ano yung dapat mong gawin, pero you're not happy, you're not satisfied with what you're doing. At the end of the day, di ba? It's your regrets. So there should be no regrets in life. That's my motto.
That's a very interesting standpoint, and it's also very true. Now, before we get into an actual debate about the topic, let's introduce our guest for tonight.
Let's go. I'm so excited to meet her already.
Our guest for tonight is actually one of my closest friends. She is Kaydee, and she is behind Desserts by K Davao, and she actually started with an undergraduate degree in BS Math. From BS Math to culinary, that's a big leap, right?
Yeah, that's such a curveball, and I can relate to it because I've studied health science, and then I also studied business and then education. So I can't wait to meet her already.
Let's not prolong the waiting, and let's invite her in.
Hi, Kaydee.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. How about you guys?
We're doing amazing, and we're just so excited to meet you because Gail has actually told me a lot of things already. Tell us more about yourself, please.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Kaydee. I'm the owner of Desserts by K, and I'm currently also studying culinary and pastry arts at LPU Davao.
Wow. Gail, one thing that really excites me, it's because we're gonna be talking about food for tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love to eat a lot, especially with desserts, cakes.
Yes, and Katie's been baking for quite a while now. However, she did start college in BS Math, right?
Yeah, like
Is it okay if we talk
totally
about that?
different. Yeah, like honestly though, like I did have an interest in culinary as a kid, but it didn't translate well in my childhood, I guess. Like because yeah, my parents had their own business. They assumed we would also be helping them. Like I would be helping them, but here I am.
Taking a different path for
Yeah.
a change.
Yeah, because they rejected the idea like, oh, like don't go to culinary because like at the time, right? Like before it was sort of looked down on because oh, you're just gonna be a chef or you're just gonna end up being a waitress and like, oh, okay. So I changed paths from there. Like the main goal back then it became like, oh, I wanna try for like this scholarship program like Japan was offering at the time. So that's how I got into BS Math because the hard part of the scholarship was like there's a math part, like math exam. So it's like, okay, logically I take math. Okay.
Well, I assume that you're a math genius since elementary and high school. Have you been on top of your class in terms of mathematics?
Yes. I'll ask you more. Yes.
Gail can prove.
I can vouch, yes.
Yeah, because my parents like have you heard of Kumon? Like the it's like an after it's like an after school program and then they specialize in math. So I was stuck there for 10 years. Made it through.
But you did enjoy mathematics.
It was easier at 1 plus 1, not 1 plus A plus B. Like,
When the letters are, coming in, it's getting more confusing.
yeah, it's like I did not think there's English in math, and but yeah, so that's what happened. 2 years in BS math. Unfortunately, I didn't get the scholarship. So from there, also coincidentally, my sister was done studying Mandarin.
Mhm.
So my dad just approached me, and then he was like, "Okay, do you want to study Mandarin? I can sponsor you." Then I'm like, "Take me there, okay?"
Why not?
Because he was still thinking like on business, and he was expanding to like clients from mainland China.
Mhm.
So he started first with my sister, and then he saw like, oh, she can speak well after 2 years. Let's try it on Katie. Then I'm like, sure.
Can you give us a little bit of Mandarin? Introduce yourself in
um.
Mandarin.
Oh. Okay. So like, 我叫 Katie，我的中文名字是君怡，我是27岁。
Well,
Yeah.
you really sound like a Chinese, but you have like this cute voice in Chinese. It sounds like an anime-ish to me. It's really cute.
even in
Thank
even
you.
in Tagalog and Bisaya, she has that voice.
Oh yeah, this is like my trademark. Like, it's
Yes.
Katie when it sounds like kiddish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We were actually talking about the debate earlier because we posted on our
Yeah.
social media about practicality versus your passion, and you all already told us about how being in or being interested in culinary or being interested in being a chef was looked down on before. So, can you tell me more about what your stand is in terms of choosing or following your passions?
For me, I didn't expect, like, honestly, it took like 10 years. Like 10 years from graduating high school just to get back to studying culinary. Because it became from BS math to studying Chinese to studying hospitality management, and eventually going back to studying fundamentals in baking before I reached like LPU pastry. Uh,
And sorry, go ahead.
I
No, go ahead.
because passion wise, yeah, because they rejected the idea right before, so I was like kind of bummed about it. So I thought like, oh, maybe I was just interested. I wasn't passionate enough about it. So I didn't think much later until I moved back to Davao. I started baking again. And it's like, this is actually fun. Like, I understand what I'm doing.
Right, and you shifted from BS Math to studying Mandarin in Taiwan, and then you went back to Davao, or did you? Well,
Back to
did you
Davao
go?
for a bit.
Yeah, for a bit, and then you went back to studying um in Singapore, right?
Yep.
You've been to all over the world already.
Yeah, a bit. Like, if there's the opportunity, why not get it,
Yes.
right?
Grab it while you can.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you talked about you were only interested and not passionate. So what do you think or what is passion for you? And can you define what passion is for you? And how do you define successes related to that passion as well?
Okay, passion. Passion for me is like when you're excited to do what you are interested in a particular field, or like you're willing to learn, like even it's been how many years, or how, no matter how much experience you have, you still think, oh, there's still more you have to learn and improve. Because yeah, anyone can start like a like passion project,
Mhm.
but within the day they're just like, maybe it's not for me, and just move on.
And when we talk about passion, there's a lot of struggles, a lot of failures that you have to go through. How did you overcome those challenges while you were pursuing this baking passion?
Yeah, it was after I took up the like fundamentals in baking, I decided, oh, like I'll start Desserts by K.
Mhm.
At first, it was just supposed to be a means of how I can get more, how to put this. how to get more financial gain so
Mhm.
I can still continue experimenting in baking because uh it didn't seem feasible if I just kept spending on my own
Mhm.
savings, and well, the only ones who were trying were like just my family and friends. So it's like, why not try and also expand it to a business, like get other people to
Help you.
like share their feedback.
Mhm.
Yeah, also.
So it
So
was mentioned that you started this business during the height of pandemic, and we understand that during the pandemic period, a lot of dreams died, aside from the lives that were taken. But also there were a lot of dreams that came to life, and one of those dreams is your dream, which is the business, the DBK, right?
yeah. Mm.
Can you tell us what made you decide to start this business, especially during the pandemic period?
During the pandemic, I think it's also the same with everyone else because it's like, oh, we're at a standstill.
Mhm.
There's not much we can do outside or even inside. So it's like, why not? Like, just go for it. And what I think what helped stood out more for me was that not a lot of businesses actually think that they should invest right away. I
Mhm.
mean, like, especially in marketing and advertising. Like,
Yeah.
even if like, yeah, you just start out with like a couple of likes on the page, or like you go through word of mouth, like it could work, but not right away. Like they think it's instantaneous, like just instant money, but it does take time and effort and more money also.
Mhm. I can actually
Very true.
relate with what you said, Katie, because we actually have the same, I think I should say, passion when we created this podcast, and I believe that we will go through a lot of things pa before we get to be successful, hopefully soon.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, this is definitely passion project, and we're still in the works, as you may have noticed. We're still working on it really hard. But going back to the topic, can you walk us through like your daily or your schedule as a student slash baker slash daughter slash adult in general?
Slash being me. Um,
Yes.
um, yeah, it was a bit harder before because the schedule I had uh during school before was Monday to Friday, but they were just like half day classes. So I thought like, oh, I can manage this. Like I could bake either in the morning or afternoon, and then go to class. Like yeah, the next. But I didn't think like how physically exhausting it was because we're actually like basically standing the whole time for like 5 hours, and I'm not physically fit as the pandemic has brought upon us. And but yeah, it was a challenge also because uh although it did take up like much of my time, so I thought like, oh, so I'm keeping myself busy, like I'm not as bored as I was. But then because it became like really fast paced for me, like,
Mhm.
oh, like for example, I had like morning classes also, like they start at 7 a.m., but I travel like from 6:30 a.m. to go to school. We end as or 1 p.m., and then when I get home, it's like, oh no, I have to bake. Wait, what do I need to bake? Like I have to remember because it's like, oh no, I have to get it delivered later or tomorrow already.
How many cakes do you usually make in a day, or
It depends, I guess. Depends on the season. Like
the
I
maximum
tried
you've got?
the maximum. Um, yeah, recently. Because my mom went to Cagayan like last Thursday, and I did like, I guess 12 to 12 boxes of like assorted muffins, brownies, some cakes, tub cakes, and they're just like all from my relatives and any of their office mates wanted to pass by.
That's a lot. 12 boxes is too much. I don't even know how to bake a cake, but thinking about it is just too much, too exhausting.
Because like especially I'm like the one in charge of like keeping track of the orders. I'm the one baking, and then I just need help with washing the dishes and all that on me.
That's, I think,
Like, yeah.
the worst part.
Yes.
And that's after you go to school, right?
Yeah. Like, yeah, I think the worst I had it though was that I was done baking at around midnight or 1 a.m., but I had to go to school as early as 5 a.m. because there's a catering event, and I ended school like at 5 p.m. because I still had class.
It's like basically you live at school and then you just visit your house
I
to take a bath.
know. Is
So,
that bad? Perfect.
that sounds like a lot already, but can you I'm pretty sure that during this period, when you since you started your business, there have been times where you just want to give up, and you were down, or mentally you were not just into it. Can you tell us how did you keep yourself, motivated until now?
I mean, for Desserts by K, it's been, yeah, it's going like 2 years, 2 to 3 years. And I've already built like, there's a small base already of like repeat customers. So, like, I've already built this trust with
Mm-hmm.
them. So, they, ah, it, like, not to humble brag, but they like sort of rely on me. So I feel bad to reject them. So
Right.
yeah, besides that also, curiosity actually is my main motivation.
Which is really important, I think, in any passion and business as well, because you gotta keep improving and you gotta
Exactly.
find ways to move forward, because if you don't, you'll stay stagnant and um you'll just be at the same place for a really long time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what would you advise to, anyone who's conflicted and torn between their passion and practicality, like.
If choosing between passion and practicality, um, I mean, there's a way you can actually have both. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, it's just it depends like how okay you are with it. Because if you just do passion alone, but you don't have a solid plan, then
Mhm.
yeah, that's also messy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you go with practicality alone, but you're not passionate about it, I feel like you also just burn out also because you're like,
Exactly.
That's
this is
right.
so boring.
Yeah, definitely. And I those are very valid points. And a lot of people, especially our age, are actually struggling to find passion in the routine that they do every day. I mean,
Mhm.
I think I speak for both Kael and I when I say that we've had a couple of tries in looking for that certain
Mhm.
passion, because we've shifted a lot in our jobs and in our interests, in our studies as well. It is a struggle to finding the great balance between passion and
Mhm.
practicality.
Well, there's absolutely a way where you can enjoy the best of both worlds. Like right now, I have to be practical with my job. I'm working as, with
Mm-hmm.
my profession in the hospital, but at the same time, I've been enjoying a lot of things like this one, making a podcast, enjoying myself in the gym. So there's absolutely a way where you can, the a thin line between those two.
Yes, definitely. I I think when you think when you weigh things between being practical and being passionate, also think about what's more important at the moment, because sometimes your passion won't actually create funds in the long run, or it's not definite, it's not that definite, so it can get a little bit um messy, as Katie mentioned earlier.
At this point, I want to also ask you, Katie, about do you have any? Can you share to us your future plans with DBK, or in life in general? Can you tell us about
Future plans, because in the next, I think 3 or 4 months, I'll be done with the course and I'll be
Mhm.
starting already like local OJT. Yeah, I've been asked also where am I considering to take my OJT, and then yeah, because it's actually a requirement to have some experience locally before applying for internships abroad. And yeah, I'm hoping like if there's another option besides the US, because that's the only option available as of now. But yeah, I'm like excited like if I can work abroad also soon.
But what'll happen to DBK if you go abroad?
Well, I'm sorry guys, like this is how you know. This is the announcement.
This is the announcement. Yes.
Maybe you can share the recipe to us and we'll continue we'll continue the baking. Just
I mean, why
kidding.
not? Like,
Transfer to Cookie Duo. Charot.
like just merge.
Yeah. You mentioned that your parents weren't considering culinary earlier because they wanted you to focus on the family business. Right now, you're doing your own business, which is DBK. How did they get around to the idea that you'll be pursuing culinary or doing a pastry business on your own instead of doing or going with a family business?
Ah, because yeah, of like family conflict and some personal, yeah, also like conflict also and personal interest. I think they got the idea that yeah, I want to do my own thing. So
Mm-hmm.
when I started Desserts by K, yeah, their biggest concern was like, I mean, I think like most parents will also react this way, like, oh, like, do you know these people? Do you know they're strangers? Then I'm like, isn't that the same thing also with your business? You also met them as strangers.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just it's just the medium that's different. They're online. Why are you scared?
Mhm.
Like I'm more scared of you for you guys. But yeah, besides like safety wise,
Mhm.
they're concerned like how long I guess I would be interested in the business. They thought, yeah, I think they also thought it was just a passion project or like, oh, I'm just going through a phase. But it's like, it's been 2 years. I'm still here.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure your parents are
Yeah.
super proud of your, your journey with DBK. And so are we.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, because they stopped. I mean, I saw the change now from like stopping from asking like who are these people or like are you sure are you like gaining profit or something to like oh like are you free like I want to give like to my like friends they're visiting town and yeah there's
Yeah,
been improvement.
yeah, that's very great to hear because at least they got around to it and they understand that
Yeah.
it's really what you're passionate about.
At least they were, supportive of the things that you want to do in life. And
Mhm.
that's the most important thing aside from, everything that you have to go through in, making business is the support from, the people, especially with your immediate family. That's a lot of help.
Yeah, so I can count this as like one of the success for
Mhm.
Desserts by K because like if you're just gonna go through it alone and yeah even if you have the financial support like oh you can get from your savings or like oh you have the know-how the knowledge of how to market how to gain an audience but if you also lack emotional support like if you're also not confident in what you're doing yeah it's also still not enough.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. So I think that that's actually a good place to end. Do you have anything you want to add, or do you want to talk about anything else with regards to um, following your passion and desserts by K or anything like that?
um if you're to follow your passion yeah just go for it it's like who's to stop you besides financially, I guess.
Yeah.
Or
So
yeah,
passion versus practical again.
plenty.
Yes.
Yeah, because yeah, if you have the idea, just do it.
Thank you so much, Katie, for the wonderful advice. And thank you so much for sharing your time with us, your knowledge, and your passion with DVK.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank
having me, guys.
I really, really hope that you had a great time with us.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Very sorry for making you wait. And
No, it's fine. It's fine.
um, do you have anything you want to plug, or where can we order any pastries from Desserts by Kay, or where can we find you on social media?
On social media, you can find Desserts by K on Facebook. The name is still Desserts by K. On IG and TikTok, it's at DBK Davao.
So that's at DBK Davao on TikTok and Instagram, and then Desserts by Kay on Facebook, right?
Yep,
Follow
yep.
their social media accounts, guys, and you may get a discount for charot lang. If you use the code
Just put
Kael
the
and
code
Gail try to
Gail.
podcast.
We'll just make up a code. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
The hashtag.
With the promo code. Anyway, thank you so much, Katie. Goodbye now. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Bye.
Have a great night.
Okay.
Okay, that was Katie with Desserts by Kay. And we really hope that you guys had enjoyed our episode with Katie's passion in baking and pastry.
Yes. So we did discuss the debate, and we actually debated for a little bit too. What are your thoughts on practicality versus following your passion? Please leave us a comment or send us a DM, because we actually read your comments and your suggestions. From the previous episode, we were talking about marriage, and most of the answers revolved around money. Mahal magpakasal ngayon.
Pero for me, Gail, it's really not about how extravagant your wedding is. You can actually have
Exactly.
like what Marsha did with her partner. They had a very intimate wedding, and I think that's more special
More
than
meaningful.
having
Mhm.
having people, like more people. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be you and your partner in bed.
In bed talaga. No, but yes, definitely. I actually also come to think of it, there was a rise in marriage during the pandemic, maybe because of the limit. There's like 20 people lang per kasal, so
yeah.
less
This is
gasto,
this is our
right?
chance to
This is
tipid.
right. So that, and it's more, tama jud. It's more intimate if you just celebrate it with a couple of special friends and your
Mhm.
family.
The problem is here in the Philippines, whenever you have weddings, parang it's required to have every relative that you have, and then if you were not able to invite them, na di ba, murag malain sila. So
That's true.
yeah, that's the
Kana
challenge.
jud toxic Filipino behavior.
Ay.
Joke lang.
Oops, another topic for another episode.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, madami tayong dyan, examples. Oh, excited ako. But yes, thank you for your feedback for the previous episode. We'll get to talk about your feedback from this episode on the next one.
And you can send your comments, suggestions, and anything on our email, which is kael.gael@gmail.com. And you can also direct message me on my Instagram account. It's Sinsagan, SIN_SAGAN.
And mine is Daily Gaily. That's DAILYGAELLEY.
Thank you so much, guys. It has been a very fun episode. Gail, I really enjoyed this episode tonight, and thank you for inviting Katie. And also for those folks who wants to join our podcast, who wants to co-host with us, send us your request on our social media platforms. It's at kael.gaelletrytopodcast on Facebook, Instagram.
Yes. And we're also on YouTube. We actually posted our previous episode on YouTube, so you can go check that out. It's also Kael and Gail Try to Podcast. So if you want to join our conversations, please send us a DM. We will organize it. We'll send you our question briefs, and we'll just have a good time. This is just a podcast or a conversation between friends. We're very casual, nothing serious. So please join us.
Yes, we're gonna talk all the good things and the bad things in life. Once again, my name is Kael.
And I'm Gail.
Thank you so much, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.
See you next episode.